Hello and welcome. In this brief lecture, we will create a skeleton payload page. This page will simply display some text. We will use it in the next lecture to prove that we can access it only when authenticated, when we will be introducing Spring Security. Let's start by creating a new feature branch called payload. First, we will make sure that our working folder is pointing to develop with the git command git checkout develop. Then, we will create a new payload feature branch with the git commands git checkout -b payload and git push -u origin payload. To create the payload page, we can copy the login HTML page we have created in the previous lecture to the payload folder and rename it as payload.html. We will delete the current container div and create a new Bootstrap container. Within it, we will create a Bootstrap row div. Within the row div, this time we will create a Bootstrap div with class callMeD12 so that it takes the whole display area width. Within this div, we create a Bootstrap Jumbotron container. Within the Jumbotron, we create a div with Bootstrap class text center, which contains an h1 heading and a plead element. For the h1 element, we will set the thText attribute to payload h1 text, to which we will assign the value "you've got the juice." For the p element, we will set the Bootstrap class lead and the thText attribute payload plead, to which we will assign the value "if you can see this page, it means you are logged in." We also want to make sure that our new properties are nice and tidy in the messages.properties file, so we can separate them from the others and add a comment such as "this is the payload section." Now, we will need to create a controller to handle the payload requests. We can right-click on the web controllers package, select New, Class, and then we can name the class Payload Controller. As usual, we will need to annotate it with the @controller annotation. We will also declare the payload viewName string constant with the value payload/payload. We will then create a payload method which simply returns the viewName, and we will annotate it with the @requestMapping annotation, to which we will assign the value /payload. If we restart the application now and point our browser to localhost 8080 /payload, we will see the page layout. Currently, we can see the content because we haven't set up any Spring Security. In the next lecture, we will introduce Spring Security and will protect access to the payload page with the Spring in-memory security. Now we need to close the Git flow workflow. First, we will push our changes remotely with the git commands git add star, git commit -m created a payload page, and git push. Then, we will merge our work to develop with the git commands git checkout develop, git merge payload, and finally git push. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next lecture.